Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So you have to then again collimate again. But that's nothing like, that's like doing nothing. So
when these white electrons enter the electrons, after they leave, are they all like, is it all like 50 white electrons, like 50 right 100 white electrons, or will it be like 50% black?
meaning if I now measure its handedness here, but what do you mean by after we measure here? Means so first of all, a beam meaning, let's say each electron is entering the box and existing one at a time. Okay. Now let's say I believe what you are trying to say is that let's say I put some kind of screen here. I put some kind of screen here, and if I insert here, then what comes out here is right, and if I take it out here and insert here, what comes out is left. And this way you can make out whether the electron that entered here split itself or not. Yes, it does. When white electron comes inside, if I block here, what comes out here, and you measure its handedness, it will be right-handed. So it does split. That's what you were asking?
My doubt is, after it leaves the LR box, we use experimentally added our WAV box, and we saw that even in the like after it leaves, that we get a 50% are now white and 50% are black, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, when we have these beams of LNR electrons, will 50% of it be white and 50% black, or will all of them be white?
No, but all of them are white is measured here. I mean, there is nothing. This joint means there are not two beams coming. One electron comes, it takes one of the path unknown to us and is measured here, it is white. If it is white there. Okay, now let me tell you. Because this is a fixed setup, so you want to measure it here instead of measuring that. That's what you are saying, no? Yeah, so yeah, we can measure. That's what I'm saying. What we can do is, I think you didn't understand. What we can do is, so I'll explain the actual experimental setup. What is done is that I put some kind of barrier. Yeah, wait. I put some kind of barrier here, okay? And now collect right-handed electron, and now I measure it here, white or black, because this is equivalent to putting a box here and box here, but which I can see. Yeah, because otherwise I'll have to kind of insert. These are very complicated objects, so how will you do? So I'm telling that I'll first try to understand whether right-handed electron is white or it is coming out as a black or white. So if I block this channel, then you can see that some electron won't reach. So an electron is thrown here, it may not reach this. So the output of the electron coming out here goes down by 50%. But the color statistics here is 50-50. 50 of them will turn their color, 50 of them won't change their color. Yeah, so it is, what I am saying is that if you had put a box here and here measured, and then you will be in the previous setup, it will be the same result. It's only when you measure here, you will get only 100% white. Well, remember that place that you measure actually determines whether you know it is left-handed or right-handed. Because here, I don't know which path it took because it's a box. But I know that it was splitting. So how I checked the splitting is by moving the screen. So yeah, this box is actually working. It's not that every electron is just going through or this box is some damaged, so it is not able to distinguish and beam continues in this way. You can check that beams are actually split, and by beam means I send an electron, sometime I see a light on this rod, sometime I see light in this rod when they are inserted. And if both the rods are inserted, no beams is coming out. That means electron is going through one of the path. So it is either going as a left-handed guy or going as a right-handed guy. Is it clear?
Yes.
Huh? Yeah, you answer. I don't know. As far as I know, that's what I'm saying. That I'm telling you a very unsettling story. Most of these answers are not known.
So, all of these properties like color or handedness of an electron, do they depend on a more fundamental property like energy or any other property?
You find out. Because so far as we know, we don't know whether there is any other property that has some relation to this property. They are independent physical property.
Are they the fundamental property?
Yeah, they are fundamental property so far as our knowledge is. The fundamental in science is a very different thing, correct? Because our knowledge keeps increasing, and what you used to call fundamental, before proton was something fundamental, but we know a proton consists of, so electron is a fundamental particle so far as we know, and these are their fundamental physical properties so far as we know, and it's very likely that it is true because there are other reasons to believe that there is nothing else.
Let's say we replace that white black box with the LR box. What will be the
Meaning?
we replace the white black box with the LR box? And the edges around the black box.
Yeah, it will be because the beam is mixed here, half of them will be left, right, half of them will be right-handed. It will be just like as if you have kept a LR box.
Yeah, but it may or may not match with the previous experiment that we made.
What do you mean by may or may not match?
Because it could be.
Because it is, if you put a LR box and another LR box, if it was determined as left-handed as previous one, it continues to remain left-handed. We have done it.
Yeah, but we observed that when you put inside an LR box and then put the white black box, it didn't match out.
Correct. So you want to put here LR box. So anything exit here as, but here then how do you know in between what it did? You have to tell me that it is, in order to say that the electron was left-handed, and whether again after this experiment it changes its handedness, you will have to do experiment here. Otherwise, you have to accept that whatever, because you don't know where the electron went through. Yeah, okay. So if you put a screen here, so now you are only collecting right-handed one. You put a LR box here, it will all be right-handed. Is that enough? But you cannot. You have to block a channel. Otherwise, you can't decide. Is it clear? So it is a LR box. If you put a left electron and you block this, it will still reach this. Automatically it means it's a left electron because I have blocked this channel. And again to check you put an LR box here, it will continue to remain left-handed. Is it clear? That's what you were asking?
If we put a screen across the left, we allow light to pass the combination box. Will it be 50-50?
What? 50-50 what? Color is 50-50.
Only when we allow both to pass.
Only when we allow it to pass without knowing in which path it passed, it will be 100%.
So if we block one, we go back to our original.
Yeah. That's how we verify that this box is actually, this setup is actually an LR box. What?
Was all this discovered before the complicated concepts of fluorescence absorption were introduced?
Fluorescence, what? This is an extremely this property is extremely old. I think in 1930s we knew that electrons have this property. They are actually angular momentum. I'll tell what actual property I'm talking about.
People are able to come up with the concept of fluorescence where electrons get excited over that. Why does it?
There is nothing fluorescence about it. It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with an electron, a simple electron, nothing excited. A electron of a fixed energy and a beam of electron going after one another of different intensity, all of different energy, you will result into the same answer.
When you mention color,
Color is not a color. There is no color. Color I just call it. It is actually angular momentum in x direction, but it has no meaning to you, correct? The property that I am talking about has a not name as color. It has nothing to do with the real color.
So here that is based at here. It's supposed to come out 50% white, 50% black. So here it comes to total 100% white. So does that mean that it's not apt or 50% of white which is already there?
You can say that, yeah. Is it clear? Yeah?
after we get the weight from the alarm boxes left and right, and we immediately place two different
That's kind of practically hard, but you can substitute by putting some screen and finding out. Then
So that time we get 50% white and 50% black.
yeah.
But what is it that this experiment makes it different that
Yeah, that's very strange, correct? So let's just try to understand. Let's just kind of try to see mathematically how absurd this electron is doing. Okay, so electron entered here, and our expectations of, because this is LR boxed, it either went through this path and then came here. And then we know it may have changed color or not. Well, it is not changing is the output. Or electron came here and went through this path and then it was collected here. Okay. Now you may say that maybe this box, when you are not watching, is doing something very strange. Because when you are watching, meaning when I have put a screen and I know that this is the path that has taken, it has changed its color statistic. Because, yeah. So you may say that maybe this box, when I am not watching, is doing something strange. So what you do is, for that, what best you can do is you can just freeze some experiment, like this is out, but suddenly it is doing, and you are collecting some white box, and I suddenly insert this screen here. Okay, the output there reduces by 50%, but the color statistics changes. So just the fact that this screen is getting inserted here changes the color statistic of this. And don't think that this is very short distance. This screen can be inserted inside this experiment, which is 100 kilometers from this LR box, so long as my channel is not disturbed, because these are like really long hands. Okay, and as soon as you enter here, somehow half of the electron realizes that it needs to change its statistic. Isn't it kind of really strange? Because imagine that electron, when it is moving through this apparatus, so far as we know, takes one of this path. How do we know? Okay, you insert a channel here, half of the electron, you can insert the channel here and screen here and keep it a photoelectric screen, and you will see that spots of electrons are here. The output has gone down by 50%. So if you put 10 electron in, maybe 5 comes out that side statistically. Yeah. So it means electron went either by this path or this path, because I can do the same things. However, now both the screens are out and I start measuring color. They are always white. If I insert one inside here, the color statistics changes. It output goes down by 50%, color statistics changes. Is it clear? Now let's try to understand which path electron followed. Yeah, it went into this apparatus. We know that it could not have followed the path L, because if it had followed the path L, we know that any electron that follows path L, color changes. Correct? How do you know? Because if I put a screen here, the electron that is going here, its color statistic is 50-50%. Yeah? Similarly, electron could not have traveled through this path. Why? Because if I put it here and I only keep this channel open and I measure its color statistic, half of the white becomes black. So it could not have traveled to this path. Now you may ask, maybe it went through both paths. Is possible, correct? Okay. So you insert a photographic plate in these two plates, and every time an electron goes, there is same brightness either on this or this. There is never the case that you have two spots in two places. Then you can say maybe it has went to both paths. It kind of somehow split itself and went. Yeah? You clear? Now you can ask, maybe it went through no path. It went through some random path, which I don't know. Yeah? It followed a path that is not the one you have designed, but it kind of took some other path. So I insert some two rods here that can block electrons, that can absorb electron, and I put a beam of electron, no output. That means if I block these two paths, no electron can come out. It means electron has to take one of these two paths. Okay? Is it clear? As far as I understand, these are the only four logical properties that of possible path that electron can take, you can imagine, correct? Is there anything else you can think of? Either it has gone by this path or no path or both at a time. It's pretty much, that's all experimentally you can verify, and you can even think of, because I know that each time it goes through this path or this path by this set of experiment that I explained. So electron, do you agree with me? It's really unsettling, correct? It is really strange, because anything you try to check on electron, they seem to escape your framework of logic that it should follow. Yeah? So it seems that electrons have modes of travel that we cannot imagine. I and you can't imagine, because they seem to be traveling in a very completely strange way, in some completely strange method that is not conceivable as far as I can see from this experiment. Do you agree? Yeah? So physicists use this method of travel as superposition, by which I mean we don't know what it is. Yeah? We don't know physically what it is. Yeah? Let me now continue. Let me now add one more property and to this electron. Till now everybody is with me? Okay? So, but what you can clearly conclude from this experiment is that it is impossible for anybody to prepare a beam of electron which is white and right-handed, or black and right-handed, or left-handed and black, and so on and so forth, okay, which has guaranteed two properties of it. Yeah? Because if you tell me that I have prepared a electron which is left-handed and black, I'll first pass it through color box and then I'll make it pass through handedness box, and it will change the statistics of handedness. Once I know that it is black, I can't tell whether it is right or left. Once I know it is right, I can't say whether it is white or black. And this seems to be to the best of our knowledge, best of human knowledge as of now, we have no way to distinguish these things. Yeah? Okay? And this is what is manifestation of what is known as uncertainty principle. Have you heard this name? Yeah? We cannot be, we are never in a position to tell that exactly these two properties are, yeah, that's one, this is different, yeah. So let me now add one more property, and now I will kind of so before I add one more property, let's just take let's just do a small experiment with all of us. Okay, so I want you guys to tell me 3 binary property of people in this class. Let's say so first property is whether you are boy or girl, and we are assuming that they are binary properties. Okay, so you just decide what you are and keep it in your head. Okay, I don't want, but don't change during this lecture. Okay, if you tell I am a girl, keep it like that. Okay, because it's very important that we keep this property constant during the experiment that I am conducting. Okay, so first property is whether you are boy or a girl. Yeah, men, women. Second property, what do you want? Left-handed, right-handed? Yeah. Now, of course, you may say that I write with right hand, but then I throw with left hand. Okay, so yeah, because these are in humans very hard to find binary properties. Everything is slightly ambiguous. So for this experiment, decide what you are. It's irrelevant what you decide. What is relevant is you keep it constant. You say I am a girl who is left-handed. I am not going to come and check whether that's true. Just keep it. Okay. Yeah. Any other property? Can you tell me third property of it? So short or tall? Yeah. Now that's kind of not very. It's not a okay. So let's call G and G bar. People who have glasses, who don't have. Yeah. But this also, sometimes people wear, sometimes they don't. But let's just keep it as a binary property. Is it clear? Your gender, your handedness, and whether you are wearing glasses or not. Okay, these are 3 properties. So I claim so let me just for the let me write, instead of writing boy and girl, let me write G as B bar, meaning not a boy. Okay, and let me write left-handed, right-handed as L bar, meaning not a left-handed person, and let's write, because I didn't want G to repeat 2 times. Okay, so let's say G and G bar. Is it clear? Means you have glasses and you don't have. Yeah. So I claim that always the following is true: the number of boys who are right-handed. Okay, let's maybe. Okay, doesn't matter. Who are right-handed plus number of left-handed who are not wearing glasses is greater than or equal to number of boys who are not wearing glasses in any set. So these are I have a set which is a collection of all students or people in this class, correct? I claim I can close my eyes and always say that number of boys who are right-handed plus number of left-handed people who are not wearing glasses is always bigger than equal to number of boys who are not wearing glasses. Yeah? So let's see whether this is true or not. Can some of you come and count these numbers? Accurately it has to be counted. So just check whether what I am claiming is correct or not. Is question clear? So I need 2 volunteers maybe to write the numbers. You guys want to come? Yeah? So you first count the number of boys who are right-handed. Can you raise people belonging to this class? Boys who are right-handed. Huh?
He's also right-handed, sir. He's not really.
But just keep it this room. One end. But don't change your mind, okay? One of you count, one of you write. What is the number? One more. 11. The experiment will fail if people keep coming in and going out.
40.
Again, right-handed boys. You can decide whether you are a boy or a girl.
I can be whatever I want.
Don't change during the experiment, okay? You can be whatever you want. It's just, I want to, you can call yourself whatever, I don't want to give, okay? So count. Count correctly. Both of you independently count. Please, quiet. And keep your hand properly up because it's otherwise. You're not interested, just get out.
13.
Okay. Now that these are left-handed who are not wearing glasses. Left-handed people who are not wearing glasses. Don't change your stand. I thought I was very happy because if there was only one number, I will start feeling tense because this number I am claiming to be greater than that. So if you want to change your mind and but once this number is counted, you can't change your mind, okay? Now who is this? Don't change your properties. Keep 3 properties unchanged during the experiment. 10. You see, this number is always bigger. I claim that you can even prove it. Thank you. Can you say? So I claim that if I take any set, everybody is familiar with the set, correct? It's a collection of well-defined objects, and every element of that has 3 binary properties. What I mean by binary is either left or right, black or white, something like that. Some binary properties. Okay? And if I take this sum, So let's call this binary property as B bar, L bar, G bar. If I take this sum, any set, as long as it is well defined binary property, obeys this number, and this you can prove mathematically. Can someone try to give proof? You understood the question? You can mathematically prove by simple logic that this inequality will always be true. Yeah? Try. It's much simpler than that. It's so elementary. If I give you the reason, you just have to kind of check that a member here is either here or there. If that is the case, then we are done, correct? You agree? If I have a boy who is not wearing glass, it is either here or here. Yeah, you just say L bar or L. So here is what I am saying is that you take any element of this. No, not necessary. Because any boy here can be left-handed or right-handed. Yeah, so if he is a boy who is right-handed, it will be here. Otherwise, he is a left-handed person. So therefore, it is here. So every element of this guy is either here or either there. Correct? That means if you take sum of all those numbers, is going to be bigger than that. Because every member either lies into this guy or into this guy. Okay? Is it clear? Saying differently, I can divide number of boys into those, this BL bar I can divide into those wearing glasses and those not wearing glasses, plus left-handed I can divide into those who are boys and who are not boys, and I can look at this to sum is sum of these four numbers, correct? Because this is equal to do you agree? What do you understand by what I mean by this? Any boy who is not left-handed either wear glasses or doesn't wear glass. Therefore, this sum is sum of these two numbers. Yeah. Similarly, I can take left-handed people who are not wearing glasses. The person who is left-handed not wearing glasses is either boy or is not a boy. So it will, this happens to be correct? This two number is sum of this thing. And you can check that if you sum these two, they are all possible element in here. Okay? Which means that this sum has additionally two non-zero terms. Therefore, it has to be positive. Or at least bigger than 0. Bigger than or equal to 0. Is it clear? Yeah, if those two are 0, it will be equal, otherwise it will be bigger than or equal to 0. Is it clear? The logic is clear? Extremely elementary logic. Okay? Any set having 3 binary properties, all elements should have 3 binary properties. This holds because I have proved it. It doesn't matter whether I am taking the collection of students in this room or I take any set, the logic that I have given for showing the inequality is independent of that, correct? Is it clear to everybody? Yeah? Let's first keep it to 3 elements. Yeah? Of course, it can apply to more than 3 elements where you take one dummy property and take the 4th property and then apply on the 3. So, of course, it can be made more complicated. But let's just keep 3 property because I am not interested in set and their property. But now let's go back to electron. Okay? We have already seen 2 properties of electron. What were they? Left-handed, right-handed and black or white. Okay? Let's say electron, I am telling you, electron has one more property. Say whimsical or not whimsical. Yeah. So every electron that you encounter is either whimsical or it's not whimsical. I am just giving some name. If you know some other name, give me some other name. Soft and hard. Okay. So every electron that you encounter is either left-handed or right-handed, white or black, soft or hard. But what I mean by soft or hard is that it's a binary property. There is no electron which is somewhat soft and somewhat hard. Okay, it's like really hard or soft. Yeah, binary. Is it clear? So we have this. Let's. So let's just say, so property 1 is white or black, okay. Property 2 is left-handed or right-handed. The third, what we decided, hard or soft. Yeah, so these are binary property. You can again do the same set of experiment on this third property that I have introduced, that this third property is independent of first two properties that we already discussed. Okay? Yeah? So this is a completely independent physical property of an electron, independent of these two. So now we produce a beam of electron, so somehow we produce a beam of electron and they have this property, and we now start calculating the following number. Correct? Here I am telling H bar because, yeah. So number of black electron which comes out, what I mean by this is they are right-handed. Yeah. We have not done. We have just make it pass through the color box and then handed box, and then I know where it is exited from the color box and I know where it is exited from the handedness box. So that is, I count that number. Then I count similarly this number. And what we have seen by elementary set theory is that this should be greater than or equal to over B H bar. Correct? You agree? So from our experience that if electron has these three binary property independent, then this inequality should hold. Yeah. But it turns out that electron violates this inequality. In fact, it comes like this. Okay. This inequality is known as Bell's inequality. Or Bell's theorem. Okay, it's the simplest form of Bell's theorem. And Bell's theorem is a statement about set whose elements have binary properties. From our simple logic, you can say that any set having this three distinct binary properties satisfies this inequality, which is known as Bell's inequality. What I claim is that experiment verification have shown electrons to violate this Bell's inequality. Okay, and not only violate, it violates in a very precise manner. Okay, so it's not randomly violating, it's violating in one particular precisely manner. Okay, we will not go into it, but so what I am saying is that any form of standard logic that we want to introduce into the study of the property of electron fails miserably when dealing with electron. Okay? You can, in fact, to an extent that it means that we should not call set of electron as a set or something. Yeah? But it is kind of not okay, because actually you can produce a beam of certain amount of electron in some specific way, and you can keep measuring this property. So you can sort of do lot of control experiments, and it completely violates this simple inequality. Okay, and it's been now verified, and I believe in 2019 or 2020 somebody has got Nobel Prize on verifying on actually conducting an experiment that kind of makes this inequality not valid for electron. Yeah, I don't remember the year, but a very recent Nobel Prize has gone into checking Bell's theorem or Bell's inequality. Okay, so it seems that now, so what's the solution? So this physicists of course don't give up saying that we can't do anything about it. They have a way of actually calculating what is the error in Bell's inequality. Okay, what they say is that, okay, each electron which is white, when it comes to its handedness, it is in a superposition of being left-handed or right-handed. Okay, now right now I am not telling what it means to be in superposition, but the superposition of these two states is not a physical state. Okay, it's not a physical state, it's a state which is just mathematically cooked up, because if you assume that it's a physical state, then you arrive into this kind of logical contradiction. That is what was the contribution of Bell, that he predicted that any way of incorporating this kind of mathematical formalism of quantum mechanics into some physical reality. Okay, take what I am saying it with some pinch of salt, because I cannot explain all the details without introducing substantial amount of mathematics. He said that this any kind of usual logic of trying to make quantum mechanics taking away from this what I call is as mathematical formalism, which cannot be physically verified, which cannot be mathematically experimentally verified, is not possible to formulate any such thing under certain assumption, because if you formulate it, you will have to satisfy this kind of inequality. He gave a set of inequalities, and now people have shown that those inequalities are not held by electron. In fact, they are actually been precisely, they are violated with a precise number, and that number can be calculated from modern quantum mechanics assumption. I am telling you assumptions because those assumptions can't be verified. So we have now we are in a situation that there is some working model which probabilistically gives you the answers of these questions, but we really don't understand what electron does or what mode of travel electron takes, or are this property, as she said, is related to some bigger property which we are not aware of, and this all can be subsumed into that, and then we can give a pure logical explanation of what is happening to this phenomenon. Okay. Now, let me add that those things that I explained, how statistics and so on, but this kind of inequality, how they are violated, can be calculated, and you can give a probability that what will happen. So, I hope, as I said in the beginning, before I stop and maybe take question answer, that so physicists have two ways of dealing with. Some people, what they say is that you just shut up and calculate. Because what we are interested in is making cell phone and better TV and all. This question, because probabilistically there is a quantum mechanics setup and you can calculate everything and you can construct any devices you want. So if you engineer, it doesn't matter whether this kind of strange phenomena logically is violated or not. As long as it is violated in a controlled way and you know what is it going to happen, you can devise useful things, useful for humans. Okay? And so that's the philosophy of most physicists, and they call it shut up and calculate. Don't ask questions what has happened. But there are a few, and I am one of them, who believe that there is some deep mystery in this phenomena, and if you really understand it better than what we currently know, it would certainly change the way in which physics is taught, looked at, and it will have a tangible consequences. Maybe not now, but after 30 years. So I hope one of you will take up and try to follow it up. Yeah. So with this note, I will stop. If you have any questions, please tell me.
So you said this color and highlightness, you just told us so that we could understand. Does it have an actual?
Yeah, its actual name is angular momentum of electron in x-axis, angular momentum of electron in y-axis, and electron's angular momentum in z-axis. You can measure a property called angular momentum.
It's either one or
It is, yeah, it is binary. It's 1 or 0 or 1 or minus 1 or whatever you want to call. Yeah. It is not angular momentum that I don't know if you have seen it in classical mechanics. It's a binary angular momentum. The name of that is angular momentum, and you can measure this angular momentum in 3 directions, the 3 directions of 3 axes of your reference frame, and they follow this kind of strange statistics. So that is in my mind, but let me make it clear that these are not the only 3 properties. There are other, I have kept this property in mind and taken this discussion, but there are other properties where this strange thing happens. And it is not true that if you measure for electron this happens. If you take angular momentum, which is a physical property which can be measured for silver atoms, it can be measured for photons, or it can be measured for many particles, proton. All of them follow this problem. All of them have this property. Okay, and you can never come up with a device that alters the statistics by 1 to 1 millionth. It is the same statistic. You cannot design whatever sophistication you take, 1940s apparatus that gives handedness or latest 2024 apparatus, statistics is same. However technologically sophisticated you have designed. So it has nothing to do with the apparatus that we have. Nothing is crude. Anything else? I'll write it. So, shall I take this out? Thank you.
Sir, we'd like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come here and give us a lecture about the peculiarities with the angular momentum of an electron. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the RSIC management and the management of IIT Madras for allowing us to interact with such visionaries and great minds of today who are deciding the course of physics and such other sciences for our future. So could we all have a great round of applause once again for sir?